Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing good, and I am here with the fourth video of the video series on electric currents and its effects, class 7 science. This is Roshni from LearnerHub, the free learning platform where you can learn anything about math, science, English grammar, tips and tricks absolutely for free at learnerhub.com. So in this video, we will see that electric current not just has an heating effect but also has a magnetic effect as well. Never thought about it? We will look into it in more detail. Think of an electric bell or an electromagnet. So they are all magnetic effects of electric current. Little surprised as well as curious? Let's take a look.
What comes to your mind when you think of magnets? So maybe something like this. Maybe a magnet attracting iron nails. That's a very common thing that comes to your mind. Whenever you take the magnet closer to the nails, they all tend to get attracted to the magnet. You might think of the fridge magnet. So you remember in your childhood, or even maybe now also, you do these things. You have beautiful fridge magnets and you put them on the fridge, and it changes the appearance of the fridge. You can also think of the magnetic doors. Like a lot of doors, they have magnets attached to it, because of which as soon as you tend to close it, it gets closes on its own. In fact, the doors of the refrigerator also have a magnet. That's because when you try to close the door of the refrigerator, just try to observe this. Now, as the door comes very close to the surface, even if you are not pushing it, it goes on its own. That's because of the magnetic attraction. Think of the screwdriver, which has a magnetic tip. Now, why does it have a magnetic tip? Because normally a screwdriver has to deal with nails, and nails get attracted to magnets. So it becomes easier to handle nails with a magnetic tip. The metro trains, if you have ever observed it or experienced it, the doors of your metro trains, so they have also magnetic effect. That's why they open and they closes on their own. So now when it comes to magnetic effects, we actually need to tell you that how electricity and magnetism were linked together, because here we are going to talk about that as electric current flows through a wire, a magnetic effect is produced. So basically we are trying to connect these two different subjects. One is electricity, the other one is magnetism. So it was found that these two were very, very closely related. So what it is trying to say is, if you think of electricity, what can you think of? Maybe a bulb connected in a circuit to the battery, and then what happens? The bulb starts glowing because electric current is flowing through the circuit. So that is electricity. And when you think of magnetism, it is like the nails are getting attracted towards the magnet. Why? Because in the region around this magnet, there is a force which exists. And all these nails, they can experience that force, and because of which they get attracted. So that is magnetism. Now, Oersted was the first scientist who observed that an interrelation exists between electricity and magnetism. Now, when he was the first one to perform an experiment which showed that even in a scenario like this, where electric current is flowing through a wire, where there is no magnet at all, so only this scenario, even in this case, there is a magnetic field that is created around this current carrying wire. So basically this current carrying wire behaved like a magnet. So that was what was proved by Oersted in his experiment. And that's why his experiment became very popular, because during that time, nobody ever thought that electricity and magnetism could be related in any way, because both of these appeared to be two different aspects of studies. Now, before we talk about Oersted experiment, it is very important to know more about magnetic compass. So magnetic compass is an instrument which indicates direction. So it was initially, during the initial years, it was used to show direction, which is north, which is south, so those kind of direction. Now it was mostly used by people who used to travel over long distances through sea. So when you are in the middle of water, you don't get an idea about the direction you are heading to. So that is where magnetic compass was extremely useful in those days. So look wise, it is a small circular device which appears like a clock. but it doesn't show time. Instead it shows direction. So as you can see here, north, east, west, south, so that's how it shows the direction. So you have a needle inside, and this needle moves and tells you the direction. So this needle which exists inside is mounted on a pivot, so and that is why it is like free to spin, so it can spin freely. So you understand what's a pivot, right? Like how you have the spinning top, so it has its center which is like fixed, and therefore the rest of its part can move freely. Similarly, if you think of anything which is hanging like this, a rod hanging from a thread, so this rod will balance itself because this center part acts as a pivot which is fixed. So here also the needle which is present inside, the center of the needle is on a pivot which is fixed, and therefore the rest of it can spin freely. So as you keep the magnetic compass at a particular place, the magnetic needle will spin quickly and it will point and show you the right direction. So this is how the needle would look like. Now this needle is actually a tiny magnet. So if you talk about the needle, so this is the most important part of the magnetic compass. So the needle is nothing but a tiny magnet. So this is how it works. So whenever you put this magnetic compass in front of a magnet, it shows some deflection. Why? Because this magnet tends to attract another magnet. Right? Because you would have learned in your junior grades that like poles attract each other, like poles repel each other, and unlike poles attract each other. So North Pole and South Pole will repel, but North and South Pole will attract each other. So some kind of force of attraction or repulsion will exist between two magnets. So here you have the needle and here you bring another external magnet. So the needle shows some deflection. So that is one very important property which was used, and this is the reason why magnetic compass was used in Oersted experiment, because it can tell you if a magnet is present around it or not. So whenever there is a deflection in the magnetic compass, you can understand if there is a magnet present in the nearby location. So that's about the magnetic compass. So if you talk about the needle, this needle always points in the north-south direction. So if you look at the needle, in most of the cases, it has a red end and a blue end. Like one side will be red, the other side would be blue. So here I have just shown it as a plain black line, but normally it is red and blue. So one part will point towards the north direction, the other would point towards the south direction. So whenever you put that magnetic compass, so whichever is the alignment of the needle, that is nothing but the north-south direction. So you can decide accordingly that, which direction are you at. So now comes the concept of magnetic field. Now, why is it that anything that comes near a magnet gets attracted? That is because just around the region surrounding a magnet, there exists a force with which other objects get attracted. So this region within which the effect of the magnet can be felt, that is known as the magnetic field. So this is the region around a magnet within which the magnetic force can be experienced. So I'll give you a very simple example. So have you observed that if you keep the magnet in your study room and if you keep the nails in your living room, so do you think that the nails will get attracted by the magnet? Of course not. Why? Because the nails are not present within the magnetic field of the magnet. So they are not present within that region of the magnet up to which they can experience the magnetic force. Now if you start bringing the two of them closer, so you bring the magnet as well as the needles to the living room, but they have been kept far away from each other. So in that case also will the needles get attracted? No. But when you bring the magnet considerably closer to the nails, what happens? The nails get attracted. That's because now the nails are within the magnetic field of the magnet. So this region within which the magnetic force can be experienced is known as magnetic field. So if you talk about the magnetic compass, you can say that when the magnetic compass is brought near a magnet, it experiences the magnetic field, and that is why it deflects. So as you can see here, when the magnet is quite close, only then they experience this attraction, because they exist within the region of the magnetic field. So now that we understood the concept of magnetic compass and magnetic field, I think we are good to go ahead with the Oersted experiment. So what he did was, he took a battery, he connected a bulb to the battery with the help of wires, and as expected, what happened, current started flowing through the wire. As a result, the bulb had glowed. Right? So the bulb glows because of the current flowing through the wire. Now, in order to understand if magnetic field exists or if magnetic effect is being produced by the current, what he did was he placed a magnetic compass there. So as you can see here. Now what will happen if the current indeed produces a magnetic field? In that case, what will happen? The magnetic compass should show some deflection. So if it showed deflection, that means a magnetic field exists here. And since there is no magnet present here, that means the magnetic effect is being produced by the current which is flowing through the wire. Right? And as expected, what happened was the magnetic compass needle deflected when current passed through the wire. So as the current passed through the wire, so this needle showed deflection. So this needle showed deflection, proving that a magnetic effect has been produced by the current. So this observation showed that a wire carrying electric current behaves like a magnet. So you see that this is so strange. Nobody expected this to happen. Nobody imagined that something like this could happen. That a wire through which current is flowing, that is equivalent to a magnet, that is behaving the same as a magnet. Not only this, it was also observed that the deflection reverses as the direction of current reverses. That's all the more interesting. So that means, let's say when the current was flowing in this direction, that time the deflection was in this direction. Now as soon as the direction of current was reversed, the direction of deflection also reversed, which very clearly indicated that this deflection is due to this current. So it all the more confirmed that okay, it is not by chance that the magnetic needle deflected, it is because of this current only. Right? So this experiment very clearly proved that how a current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet, and from here came up the concept of magnetic effect of current, that an electric current flowing through a conductor can produce magnetic effects. So let's say if this is a current carrying conductor, so as current flows through it, there is a magnetic field that is established in the surrounding region, and this magnetic field is produced because the current carrying conductor is behaving like a magnet. So the conclusion of the experiment was that a wire carrying electric current behaves like a magnet, and moving charges produce a magnetic field in the surrounding region. What are moving charges? Moving charges are nothing but the charges which constitute current. So moving charges form current. So basically current produces a magnetic field in the surrounding region. So that was concluded from Oersted experiment. So now that we are talking about the magnetic effects of current, let us talk about a special type of magnet called electromagnet. The name itself is electromagnet. That means a magnet which works in close relation or in close association with electricity. That is why the name electromagnet. So it is a magnet in which electric current produces magnetic field. So basically this is a magnet, but the main principle within this magnet, because of which magnetic field is produced, is nothing but the electric current. So construction wise, it generally consists of large number of closely spaced turns of wire. So as you can see here, this blue thing which you see, which is like kind of tied over a core. So this is the wire, the blue colored thing, and inside you have a core. Now if the core is magnetic, like if it is made up of materials like iron, this can make it all the more powerful magnet. So it depends on the material of the core, that how strong the electromagnet is. And also where the current flows through this wire which is present above the core. So when current flows through this wire, magnetic field is produced. So that is how electromagnet works. Now, the advantage of electromagnet is that it is more flexible in controlling the magnetic field. So, when we say more flexible, we mean that when the current is on, when electric current is on, magnetic field is produced. When electric current is off, no magnetic field is produced. So, the control is pretty much easy. You just switch on and switch off the electric current. Your magnetic field is also controlled accordingly. So, when your current is on, then magnetic field is produced, or we can say magnetic field is also on. When current is off, magnetic field is also off. So it is pretty much easy to control the amount of magnetic field that is produced out of this magnet. So this type of electromagnet, it also has advantages over the normal permanent magnets, which are like pure magnets. They do not make use of the magnetic effect of electric current. So the advantage is that here, this control thing, here the control is over the current. So by changing the current, we can change the magnetic field. But in case of permanent magnets, that is not the case, because each permanent magnet will produce a specific amount of magnetic field, and we do not have any control over the amount of magnetic field that is produced by the permanent magnets. So that is also one advantage, because of which electromagnets are widely used. Now, where do we use electromagnets? Where do we use this kind of magnets? Now, electromagnets are very commonly used as components of many electrical devices. So some of the examples are the cranes. Now, these cranes are used to move heavy objects. They are used to lift heavy objects. Now, they have electromagnets here. So what happens is, all the magnetic materials can be very easily picked up. For example, iron and these kind of things, which are very heavy, at the same time very difficult to locate. So when you have magnets, it becomes very easy to lift these kind of materials as magnetic separators. So magnetic separators, what are these? So they are used to separate ferromagnetic materials from a waste dump of other metals. So you might have plenty of other metals. Now you want to separate the ferromagnetic material. So how will you do that? For example, scrap iron or steel. How do you do that? So with the help of these electromagnets. So when you switch on the current, the magnetic field is on. So it starts behaving like a magnet, and it acts as magnetic separator. When you do not need it, just switch off the current. It will no more behave like a magnet. So these electromagnets, they find their application in small scale industries as well as in large scale industry machineries. Now, few more examples are the hard disks. In hard disks also we have electromagnets. You talk about the loudspeakers, there also you have electromagnets. You talk about the motors, you talk about the MRI machines in hospitals. So in all of these you have electromagnets playing an important role. Electric bell, a very common thing which we might have encountered in our day-to-day life. So in electric bells also we see a major role of electromagnets. The induction heaters, these have become very common these days. So the induction cooking tops, the induction different vessels and all. So these induction heaters, they also rely on electromagnets, because the electromagnet, they convert electrical energy into heat energy, and that's how heating happens in induction heaters. So these electromagnets are used in a variety of applications. Now, how they actually work, so that we will see looking at the working of an electric bell. So we are going to discuss about electric bell in more detail. So let us first look at the construction of electric bell. Normally you would have seen this type of bell, especially present in offices. So where you just press it and you get a sound, right? So what is it made up of? So once we know the construction, only then we will be able to understand its working. So it basically consists of a wire. So here you have the wire which is turned around the iron piece which forms the core. So the wire and the iron piece, this iron piece forms the core of the electromagnet, and the wire is turned around over it. And these two together form the electromagnet. So you have this entire setup of electromagnet here. Then you have a hammer, which you can see here. You have this hammer. Now, whenever the hammer will strike the gong, a sound will be produced. So that is where the sound gets produced when we press the electric bell. You have an iron strip. So this iron strip gets attached to the electromagnet. So if you see here, you have an iron strip here which is kind of attached to the electromagnet when current flows through it. So we will see how does that happen. You also have a contact screw. So this is the contact screw here. So sometimes when current flows through it, sometimes it will come in contact, sometimes it will leave the contact. So we will see how the contact forms and breaks. So we will see that when we talk about the working. So these are the basic important parts of the electric bell. So you have the electromagnet here, you have the iron strip here, you have the contact screw here, the hammer and the gong. So let us now look at the working of electric bell. Now what happens is when we switch it on, so initially this is the initial condition 1 and this is the final condition when current flows through the circuit. So in the initial condition the switch is off, so there is no current which is flowing through the circuit, through the wires. So therefore this is how the setup is. Now when we switch it on, then what happens? Current flows through this electromagnet, through these wires. Now as current flows through this wire, the magnetic effect is produced, that is a magnetic field is produced surrounding this area. Now this magnetic field is experienced by this soft iron strip. So when current flows through the wire, this soft iron strip gets attracted. So as you can see here it was in this position, now it gets attracted, so it slightly moves towards the electromagnet. Now as it gets attracted, it moves this side. So what happens? This contact which was initially existed, now the contact breaks. So you see the contact breaks. There is no more contact. Why? It moved this way because this also moved this way. Now as this moves this side, what happens? This hammer also moves in this direction and the hammer strikes the gong. And when the hammer strikes the gong, a sound is produced. And now you see what happened. Now since the contact broke, what happened? Now the circuit is no more complete because there is a break in the circuit. Now when the circuit is no more complete, what will happen? Now the electric current will stop flowing. Now when the electric current stops flowing, then what? Then again it goes back to condition 1 when no current is flowing. Correct? Again, when current starts flowing, it comes back to state 2. And that's how this entire process repeats, and as a result, every time the hammer strikes the gong, we hear a sound, and that is how electric bell produces sound. So you see here the main role is being performed by the electromagnet, because it is due to the electromagnet that this contact forms and breaks. So that happens because of the electromagnet. Now, since an electromagnet, it becomes very easy to produce the magnetic field and to remove the magnetic field just by controlling the current. So that is the most important advantage of electromagnet over permanent magnets. So in this scenario, we cannot think of using a permanent magnet instead of the electromagnet, because had it been a permanent magnet, we cannot switch on and off the magnetic effect of that magnet. Right? So that's the main advantage of electromagnet, and this is how electric bell works. So let us have a quick recap. As we saw that current flows through the closed circuit, so when it is connected to the battery and everything, so current flows through the circuit. As a result, coil wound around iron core acts as electromagnet. So the iron strip gets attracted, so this iron strip will get attracted towards the electromagnet. As a result, the contact with the screw will be broken, and as a result of this, the hammer would strike the gong. As soon as the hammer strikes the gong, since it has broken, so the circuit is now open circuit, therefore no current will flow through the circuit. Now when no current flows, this doesn't behave like an electromagnet anymore. That means it doesn't produce any magnetic field, and the iron strip goes back to the original position. So basically the reverse thing is happening now. Contact with the screw develops again, and again the closed circuit. Now as soon as the contact develops, it is a closed circuit. Again current flows through the circuit, and this process keeps repeating. So every time the circuit is closed, the hammer would strike the gong and the sound will be produced.
I hope you found the video useful. If you have a feedback to share, do let us know in the comment section. If you really like the video, what are you supposed to do? You are definitely supposed to like as well as share the video. I will meet you all very soon with a new video with a new topic. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.